In COVID cases is forcing colleges and universities to revisit their plans. For example, UConn will now have online-only classes for the first 2 weeks of its spring semester. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Mike Savino has been talking with all of the schools about their plans. He joins us live from UConn's Hartford campus with more. And Mike, what are the different schools telling you?
Well, things are going to look different, Patricia, from school to school for a variety of reasons. But one thing that we kept hearing from school officials is that, of course, all of this remains up in flux as they watch what's going on with these COVID cases. Now, as you mentioned, UConn made perhaps the biggest announcement so far, saying that the first 2 weeks of classes will be fully virtual. That also means that the move-in date for students who live on the Storrs campus or the Stanford's campus will also be pushed back for 2 weeks, allowing them to see what goes on with COVID cases. They also announced that they could be requiring booster shots in the near future. They're not alone there. Quinnipiac is now going to be doing that. And I talked with somebody at the University of New Haven who said today that they also plan to make that announcement. It's just a matter of working out the logistics of how to monitor when a student is eligible and that they meet the requirement. But again, it's changing very much from school to school. The Connecticut State Colleges and Universities said today that they still have not made any changes for the spring semester for the state's regional universities and community colleges, but things can be very much different at the campus level. For example, Central Connecticut State University said today that the winter session classes will now be virtual for the rest of winter session, which is until January 13th. One thing that I heard consistently, schools are doing everything they can to make sure that eventually their campuses will open this spring.
UConn is, like the rest of the country, very concerned about the presence of the Omicron virus and how aggressive it is in spreading disease to others.
I do think we're heading in the direction of people in their minds recognize we have to learn to live with it, and they're not really willing to go back to where we were last year.
Now, one of the challenges that schools face is the constant changing public health guidance from the CDC. They also said that, of course, these plans will look very different because they have to think about the sizes and the makeups of their own campus when making these changes. We'll have a deeper look at what all of the schools are doing coming up on Eyewitness News at 5:30. For now, live from Hartford, Mike Savino, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.